Hey, 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 guess who's back? And if I'm back and you're back, then that means you, yeah, you actually had some interest in what I have to say about things. So, I applaud you. Um, well, so today, well, not today, but tomorrow and the day after that, school's canceled for me. Unfortunately, I have not been feeling as productive as of lately to do much of anything. So, if this had happened 2 weeks ago, I probably would be busy drawing or writing something, but I just so happen to not feel like doing either of those things. So I'm just going to talk instead. Because I'm not just going to stay at home and just binge watch house episodes all day. Although that is a fun thing to be doing. Um, I guess today I wanted to talk about some shows that I've been watching recently. Or just I don't know, maybe just like the feeling of not really being like not really like there being a point or like there having to be a purpose behind the things you do. For instance, like I enjoy watching shows. I mean, a lot of people enjoy watching shows because why do so many of them exist and why do so many of them have so many seasons? But at the same time I don't because anyone can watch a show. Anyone can, turn on the television or like go to Netflix, whatever, and just click on a show and just sit there watching an episode. It's nothing that really requires a lot of critical thinking unless you care enough to like like write like an analysis of all the characters, but most people aren't going to take time to do that anyways. Not that you have to, but I mean, it's just something you can kind of do on autopilot or not really have to exercise any other part of your body besides a little bit of your brain, to actually comprehend what's going on. So there is like some like kind of I wouldn't say guilt, but I guess just dissatisfaction I feel whenever I just watch something and I don't do anything with what I've learned from watching something. Although I have learned some things, well, maybe not necessarily learned things from watching certain shows like House, but I've like I guess figured out like some things that I need to start keeping in mind when I do things, like when it when it comes to House, considering your health. But I don't actually think. I mean, most shows aren't really there to like educate you, but you can get something out of watching them anyways. Um, Other shows that I've been watching on and off would include like Suits, or Lucifer. um, Although I kind of forgot what was happening in that one. I just started watching it again like a week ago, but the last time I actually watched most of it was over a little over a year ago, so I don't really know what's happening anymore. It's okay though. Um, hey, that's another thing. I mean, what is really the point? Uh, Personally, as I don't understand what the point is in watching something when you're just going to forget what happens anyways. I mean, I guess it's just for mainly enjoyment, but the reason why I want to like watch more shows in the first place is to be more I guess not just like get better at like potentially writing my own characters, but also have something to talk about with other people. But I just don't really know if it's really worth it sometimes. I mean, think about like all the other things you could be doing. I don't know. Because like there's like this like growing trend, at least from like spaces that I've been in, where I see people saying things like stop consuming, start creating, and I don't really know what exactly they're referring to. I assume they just mean like stop consuming like oh, I don't know, YouTube Shorts or something. Because most YouTube Shorts aren't really that informational or like informative, and if they are, then it's just very quick, and it's only going to benefit you if you actually choose to look into the subject further. But I I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, I do support like people doing their own thing more than just spending majority of their time watching what other people are doing. It's always great to have, your own creative outlet or like a passion project, but is it okay to just simply exist sometimes? I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know, is it enough to just simply exist? At least, like, for me, what what is the point in my existence? Um well, there isn't really an answer to that. There really doesn't have to be an answer. In fact, there probably shouldn't be an answer, because if there is, you're probably going to start comparing, well, you're probably going to like keep that in mind with every single thing you do and see whether it actually fits with, like, oh, should I really be doing this? Because if my point to exist is to blah blah blah, then that means I can no longer indulge in doing whatever this is. I don't know. Or you're still, if you, like, let's say hypothetically, we somehow knew what everybody's sole purpose in life was, and then like, say it's like something that just like hovers above every single person's head, then maybe we would start valuing other people more than others, and not really in a way that we should. And then I don't know. I don't really know where I was going in this. I guess I just wanted to say that I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not really sure if anything is worth it to, like, if anything I do is really worth it or will be worth it for me in the I don't want to say in the end, because that sounds really morbid, but like later down the line, like, will I actually remember the time I spent watching a show or like watching this film? I mean, I know films can change lives, but um can it change my life? I don't know. I guess, I mean, adults nowadays want children to spend more time doing things outdoors, or like, obviously, like, spending less time with cell phones, like hanging out with friends. You don't want to, you know, arrive at a family function and then sit down for dinner and then just have everyone be on their cell phones, because then you're just going to remember what's on your cell phone while you're, like, the only thing you're going to get out of that experience is remembering what was on your cell phone, or not even that. I mean, chances are you're probably just going to forget about the whole experience, or you'll just remember vaguely, oh yeah, we had a family dinner for Thanksgiving, or maybe not Thanksgiving, but like for like like during winter break, and I don't really remember what we did there, but I knew we had one, and then that's all. That's it. Like, I mean, what are you going to discuss? I don't really know what people. I mean, what I think about, like, conversations, like what type of conversations people have with one another, and it's like, what's a majority of, like, I don't tell me, I don't know this. I'm an international spy. I don't have friends, but like, I don't have a family. I don't have friends, so I don't know. These relationships are a mystery to me, but conversations, like, a majority of them, what topic do they, like, what topic, are normally categorized into, like, do they fall into, like, talking about uh like what you spend your time doing, or things you've learned, or I guess it depends on the person, but I mean, say you're working like a 9 to 5, then most of your conversations are going to be revolved around work. If you work like, like not from home, if you work in an office, for instance, then like majority of your conversations are obviously going to be about work. And if you work from home, I mean, like I guess like technically conversing through text like online still counts as having a conversation, but I mean like for face-to-face conversations, like for what do you usually talk about? Or maybe you don't really have much face-to-face interaction at all anymore. I mean, some people are very remote nowadays. Like it's easier to be more introvert, like or an extreme kind of introvert, like the whole concept of like hikikomori than like back then, because there's so much you can like consume yourself with, like via the internet. You can just get immersed into like other worlds more easily instead of having to like walk to a bookstore and purchase a book and come home and be immersed in that. you know um you don't really have to go through all that effort, and you don't you don't have to like wait as long to you don't have to invest more time, like money, to like find enjoyment in things like like visual media or music or just entertainment in general, I guess. Jeez, I what am I even talking about anymore? Like I just don't remember. Like I might not even edit this at this point because, well, I'm trying to currently like I'm trying to start doing this thing where I just bounce around topics. Maybe maybe that's not really the best thing to start doing because that's not really how conversations go, but I guess I want to get better at improvising. Like the whole reason I'm doing this, at least sometimes without a script, is so I can get better at just talking. Because I tried speech and debate, sort of, mainly just the speech part, and it's not like debate though, because you're not like using a lot of like like for the speech, you're not doing live debates, because I mean it's in the name. You didn't choose debate and speech, or speech and debate. You chose speech, so you're just gonna read from a script. Except you're not reading from the script in front of you, like literally physically in front of you. You're reading the script from your mind, and I couldn't do that. Like, I'm not one of those people, unfortunately, that can just pull up, like an entire essay in my mind. I know some people can do that, and like there are like people in the past that have recited like, well, I don't know, like parts of the Bible, for instance. And maybe that's because they've studied it for like far longer than I ever practiced my single speech that I tried to give. But I still don't think I would be able to do that even if I read something over and over again, because I can't do that with songs. I mean, I can sing like a few lines here and there, but I don't really remember them. Like I don't know. It's really remarkable what some people can do, but you just have to confess it's just not really something I don't. It's not really something I think I'd ever be able to do. Anyways, back to the shows. Um, House. I see why a lot of people like it. Um, I'm on season 2 at the moment, and season 2, episode 10 or episode 11, and I, uh, I mean, don't really know. I don't really know if like any more characters are going to introduced or like be introduced, or like what I think is going to happen. I have seen like a few clips online. Just, I mean, like I've been like pretty spoiler free for the most part, but I've also seen a few clips online, and I know that at some point, spoilers maybe, I know that at some point he gets like kind of hospitalized in their own hospital, um, but I'm not really sure like the reason why, and I don't know much about like health in general. I don't know much about like physical health or mental mental health, but uh, I don't know. I've got like the stuff that they like. It really makes me wonder like how they film these things. You know, like shows like House and how they go about doing the research for all the cases because I'm sure I'm sure like they're like part of it is not like exactly like accurate to real life, but I don't know. I do wonder like I don't know. Maybe it's something to research later, but I wonder if like what doctors have been like a part of like this process, or at least like people that studied, like medicine, like in college to some extent. You know, like how were they involved in the writing process? Because I have no idea. Another show that I was watching before it got removed off of Netflix was Supernatural, and I really should have gotten around to watching it, much sooner than I did. But managed to get to season 4, uh, episode 18, and I see why people also. I hate to be one of the majority. I hate to be part of the herd, but I also see why people really like Castiel, and I I think he's pretty cool. I really love like the whole I like his mannerisms, but I also like how he's kind of like clueless to like some things that humans know, or like just doesn't, like nobody really gets, not nobody, but like majority of people don't really get a lot of Dean's references, and it's fun to see that like he Sam's not going to question it because Sam's his brother. Sam's been around Dean enough to probably know that like he's just going to talk about things like that and not care if whoever he's talking to actually knows what he's referencing. But Castiel, at least because he's like a stranger at first, it can say, what are you talking about, like, or just make like confused faces and just stare at him, um and then that's funny. I also just like the concept of like angels in general. Like I'm not religious, but like I like the ideas of like some sort of like entity like that is not human but can kind of like watch over humanity sometimes. Um Not like necessarily like I don't know. I think it's cool. Like I don't actually know anything about like biblically accurate angels other than like the well-known fact that they have they have like this form, like they have like so many eyes, and like the classic little drawings of like biblically accurate angels that get like spread out like all over the internet nowadays. That's basically my full extent of the knowledge I know on angels. It's not really much. Um, so I guess I made a lot of like characters that were inspired by the concept of angels, or just my idea of what an angel is like, which is just like a person or like an entity that um kind of like is there to like help out humanity, or at least oversee like specific people and make sure that like they don't I don't know, like I mean, okay, so there's this one guy, this character I made that was meant to visit like this like suicidal girl, um and he was like, he's not like an angel, but he's called angel by the girl because he kind of like stops her from doing things to harm herself, and he died by suicide, which I guess he's more of like a ghost. But I don't want to see him as a ghost because ghosts are typically portrayed as like, ooh, spooky, or like this like supernatural paranormal entity, and it's not really like that. I mean, he's just kind of like a guardian figure. He's, well, like guardian figure, like guardian angel. But no, he's just like a guardian sort of, because like the character, like the girl, doesn't really have very supportive, good parents for what she's going through, and she's just kind of there, because he went through like a similar, like the lore behind him was that he went through something similar where he couldn't really express like who he was or do what he wanted in life. Like he couldn't have the career he wanted, or he couldn't marry the person he wanted, or something like that. And so he just like was so depressed he just decided to end it. So and I do know that in the lore of, like like at least Christianity, like angels in the Bible, they're not supposed to ever like have been human. But this is kind of like my version. I didn't say he was an actual angel anyways. I'm just saying he's called angel by, like the character in the story. But anyways, it doesn't matter because I never actually ended up writing it because go figure, I'm not actually I don't actually hold myself accountable enough to make progress on things and complete stories or complete illustrations sometimes, which is kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of sad, I think, but who knows? Maybe I'll actually get there eventually with something. Another character I started writing, which like I actually wrote more stuff for, and I plan to at some point whenever I feel like it, is this guy that is not an angel, but people suspect he's an angel, or mainly this one guy suspects he's an angel because he views him as one. We're like, it's hard to explain, and it's not really, it's not set in like a world where things are normal per se, because the whole premise is that like the main characters are these people, these regular people that are trapped in this not so regular place, and it's just basically just like this building complex where everything is endless. It's literally called Welcome to Endless. That's the title of the story, and that's the whole like what is it, motto, I guess, of the place, where it's like welcome to endless, where the possibilities are endless, or something stupid like that. It's just like this building that sort of exists in real life, but the version that they're at is more like an SCP. Yeah, so it really isn't something that should exist, because it's just like a place where the people sent there are meant to be tormented. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the actual thing I was talking about, like the angel stuff. So basically, one of the guys that was sent there, one of the people, I should say, because not all of them are men. One of the people that were sent there is this one guy that kind of, similar to me, the spy, murdered a few people because he was a mercenary. Mercenary like TF2? Mercenary like, the character I am sort of dressed as? Gee, I wonder where I got that idea from. Maybe I'm not so original after all, but anyways, so he's not a good person. Surprise, surprise, majority of the people that get sent there are not good people, hence why they are being tormented. But he kind of like, when he first meets this guy, he kind of like sees him and thinks that like he's not exactly human because there's like these like wings. Oh. sorry, there's like these like wings attached to him. And then the wings kind of like disappear because of some stuff like that ensues. Like, he kind of like tries to kill him when he first meets him, and it's this whole thing. Well, it's not really that big of a deal, I guess, because it's not the craziest thing he's ever done. But anyways, none of them are perfect, and I'm still like kind of like in the process of figuring out whether like, I mean, I know he's not an angel, but I'm kind of like in the process of trying to figure out what he actually is and is not. He has like the guy that's an angel, or seen as an angel by him. He sort of has this like amnesia thing going on where he doesn't remember like anything. Like, nobody really knows when they arrived there why they arrived there, at the Welcome to Endless building complex, but he certainly has no idea why he is there in the first place. Like, he does not remember what he was doing before getting there. Like, he just remembers his name, and that's about it. He doesn't remember any of the people he runs into there, although they're not really people. I'm not gonna get into it. This was not, like, I was not coming on here to rant about my characters, because, frankly, I don't actually get things done with them. I try to write stuff, but then I just kind of, I don't want to say I get bored of them, but I just find other things to do instead, or I get, like, unmotivated because I don't see the point in doing things sometimes. But I guess that's kind of normal with people. You just, it's not really, like, for me, it's not really, like, a fear of, like, starting something. It's just this, like, sense of, like, emptiness where nothing you do really has a point to it, which is freeing. Like, that's fun, and it doesn't have, like, there's no, like, pressure added to that, but it also kind of makes it more like, well, gee, I don't really know if I want to waste, like, 2 hours writing. I don't really want to do much of anything at all at the moment. Like, it's just kind of like, I mean, it's just like this, like, weird mood that I get into sometimes. But once again, I think it's kind of common with people. Anyways, I think I'm gonna take a break from talking for now. So this is gonna be the end of this video, but it might not be all that I filmed today, because I don't know why I chose to dress up as a spy whenever I do this. Well, I know the reason why, but I sometimes question why I bother. Because I could be one of those people that just have, like, if I were a gamer, like, some sort of, like, gameplay on in the background, like Team Fortress 2? No, seriously, don't ever expect Team Fortress 2 gameplay from me, because I suck at video games nowadays. I can't even, like, no, it's so sad. Like the most, I shouldn't be saying this, but the most kills I've ever gotten as, like, sniper for instance, was probably only, like, 3. So, you do not want to see any gameplay footage from me. Not that I would know how to set that up in the first place, because I'm not tech savvy. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll find something else to discuss in my next video, but I don't know.